Hey guys, Eric here at Peachtree Classic Cars. I'm extra excited today because this is my first real drive in an old Land Rover Series 3. We purchased this a couple of months ago and we've been doing a little work to it to make it 100% roadworthy. And man, it is a joy to drive. I am blown away by how much fun it is to be in a right-hand drive car, by how much fun it is to drive this little 2.5 diesel and shift gears with my left hand instead of my right hand. And I'm just excited about this vehicle because it's super minimal rust and a lot of fun. And these are the ones that I don't ever want to have to sell if I don't have to. My daughter Peaches. Oh, here we go. Hopping into the old Rover. So one of the things that we had a little bit of an issue with was the ignition switch is not turning off. We tried to order some parts from Rover North, but that did not come in correctly, and it ended up with a very simple kill switch. So all we got to do is flip it on. That turns it on, and when we go to turn it on, she fires right up. When it's time to turn it off, you'll notice when I turn the key in the off position, can you see that? That it's still running. So it does need to be flipped off. And it works perfectly. Other than that, it works absolutely perfect. Let's take it for a drive. Oh yeah, I can get used to this. This is fun. Also, this is the dirt road that we live on. We thought, what better way to take a little test drive in an off-road vehicle than to just run down our dirt road here in Fayetteville. This is one of the last unpaved roads in my town. It shifts through the gears smoothly. The clutch feels great. The steering is nice and straight. I mean, it is smooth. No wander in the steering wheel at all. Bumpy. Of course, it's nice and smooth on the smooth road. Brakes stop straight. Not holding the steering wheel when I hit the brakes, and they stop nice and straight. Wow, this thing drives awesome. Not used to sitting on the right-hand side, that's for sure. How much fun is this? It's weird to have a turn signal on, but oops, that's my bad. And that's fourth gear. There's second gear. Well, let's pull it right here. Get out and take a look. So, emergency brake works. That's nice. Also, just so while it's turned on, the temperature gauge does work. I've never seen it go over right about where it's at now. The fuel gauge does work. It was at a quarter tank, and we put some fuel in to double check, and it went up, so that's great. Potentially believe this to be the correct odometer reading, original odometer reading. But let's take a look under the hood. brake booster, which of course works great. Engine sounds super healthy. And of course our little exhaust back here. So I'm going to shut her down now so we can hear a little better, because it is noisier than a gasoline engine. And just flip that switch like I said. So this is an incredibly minimal rust. And like I said, this is my first Land Rover, so I had to ask a lot of questions, make a lot of phone calls, talk to a lot of my Land Rover buddies, and learn all about it. And what I learned was everybody wants this. So they said, get it up for sale. People want that. It's super cool. Minimal rust. That was the main thing everybody said. I can't believe how almost rust-free it is. There's a tiny, tiny little spot of rust way down in there, about the size of my fingernail. This firewall's in great rust-free condition. I don't see any thing that looks compromised in the way as far as rust itself is concerned. So I wanted to really be clear about that as we continue to look at the vehicle. The body lines are pretty straight. It's an old Land Rover. It's got a couple little dings and dents around it. If I get really close, you see some stuff up here, and I can't even tell what that is. It almost looks like it was from the factory, that something might have been there, like a light or something, an aftermarket light. This primary latch is not always holding, so you notice that it might want to move just a hair. The secondary latch, I've always had to undo the secondary latch, so I've never had this pop up, of course, if I didn't want it to. A couple little imperfections in the paint here, little spots, little crack, and that's the way the paint is all the way around it. Also has some discoloration. I hit it with a buffer, and I'm trying to see if you can see. That is not, that right there is a cloud. That is an imperfection in the paint. That, let's see if I can move it. So like that's a cloud, that's an imperfection in the paint. So there's a couple of little, like, I say that, I don't know what that is. It's not on top. It's like, maybe it got covered with something. There's a dent here on the hood, little one. A little pop up there where maybe the hood got closed down on something. And then there's a seam, a tiny, I mean, I'm being extra picky, by the way. This is me standing right up on it and being hypercritical. This looks like it could have been laid up on the windshield at some point while it was being worked on. So it does look like the hood comes off pretty easily. So going around the rest of the body, overall, very straight body. Overall, it's a little ding, a little chip in the paint here. If I was going to keep this truck, I wouldn't think of changing a thing about it, quite frankly. I love it. I might put a radio in it, because I say that about everything. I always want my music, but I might throw a Bluetooth speaker in here too and just call it a day. Back looks great. Factory tow hitch. It's also got the factory wiring. Now, I have not checked the wiring, so I'm not saying that it works or not as far as we haven't hooked up a trailer to it. Okay, a couple tiny little bubbles down here that indicate either paint spatter or potentially just a tiny bit of surface rust coming up underneath that. But when we look at the bottoms of the doors, we see that they look great. Passenger side, which is weird to say. Underneath the passenger seat, you've got a battery. The seats are in great shape. No rips or tears. Now, the center console is one of these aftermarket, Exmoors. I've got my bottled water and cell phone in there now. But we also do have the this extra seat, which is meant to go here, the jump seat. So you can fit a person here if you wanted. I would never do that, of course, but we do have the original jump seat, which is nice. All the stickers look to be original under here. Incredible condition on these floor pans. And I'm not going to say whether or not I don't know a lot about the restoration history of any. There has been much restoration done to this vehicle. So I'm kind of saying it is what it is. Cracks in the dash, you can hop on eBay or Rover North and have a new dash, buy a new dash. They're really easy to put in. I wanted to stop somewhere because I don't want to like go around and fix everything for somebody else. I really wanted to take the windows off, but the windows slide easily. The locks work great. There's a little bit of a bulge right here. Again, like I said, could be a little bit of rust. The windows look to be in original condition. I don't see any cracks. I was driving this, so you'll see that the window slides open, closed, which is nice. Weather stripping around the top actually looks newer. The glass looks like it's mostly in original condition. Driver's side, seat is in good shape. A little maybe kind of discoloration in that one little spot, but really clean overall. Back of the seat, no rips or tears. We went through turn signals work. The horn does not work. Speedometer works, the gauges work. Turn signals work, brake lights work, running lights work. And guess what? This is a miracle. Windshield wipers. I love that. So this thing's got a couple things going for it my American trucks don't always have, and that's working windshield wipers and a working emergency brake. Let's take a look up underneath it real quick to wrap up the video. Love this galvanized steel, it looks like, or it could be aluminum. I don't know if that's galvanized steel or aluminum. You guys can educate me if you want. But bumper looks awesome. Tires they look older but have good tread. And if it was mine and I was keeping it, I would probably just drive on these tires. So this is where a lot of people have commented on how solid the truck is as far as rust is concerned. The frame, it's got old undercoating that's scraped off some places and things like that, but overall, I mean, your cross members, frame, cab supports, I mean, all of these are rust free from what I can tell. It looks like there could be a little bit of corrosion right here, finding a little bit there. Maybe here, right here in the corner, if I'm being super picky. By the way, I showed the bottom of the passenger door. Let me show the bottom of the driver door real quick and see. That as well is in really good shape. Couple of tiny little bubbles there if you're being really, really picky. If you run your finger across it, it's not perfectly smooth up until about right there. And then the rest of it's smooth. No rust through. Rockers look great. Weather stripping looks like it's in pretty good shape. And again, cab supports. We'll get the camera to adjust there. Rockers look great. Fuel tank. I mean, everything under here has the appearances of an original, unrestored, very good condition body underneath the bed, drive shaft. I mean, geez, everything under here looks amazing. All the way down under the back. Some surface rust here. And really that's the undercoating, the original undercoating that was put under here in '82, that's just peeling off. So that's not even rust. Like, this is what we call superficial surface rust. No structural rust that I see at all. Fun little diesel exhaust system there, inner fender well. It's a little spot of rust here in the back bumper on the bottom. And maybe, yeah, one little spot of corrosion there. If I move over to the other side, it's pretty solid. Maybe a little bit of bubbling, but I mean, this thing is solid. Inner fender wells, back driver's side or right side, passenger side. Aside from that hole I just showed you, these inner fender wells look great. Bottom of the tailgate here too, as long as I'm down here, it's got a little bit of these spots on it. And I mean, if you wanted the truck to look perfect, you'd want to blast it down and paint it. But I don't want a vehicle like this to look perfect, especially the road that I'd live on. I mean, check this out. Incredible, incredible. Rear fender well. Rear fender well on the driver's side, right side. Okay, one other little spot down here. There's a little spot there, little spot there. Corrosion. Those two spots right there, very small. Put my finger next to it so you can see. About the fingernail size there. Yeah, so the number one thing that any of my friends so far that have seen this truck, so yeah, a little corrosion here in the front where the bumper is attached as well. And I'm glad that literally interrupted my sentence, because what I was saying was that all my buddies who've seen this have said it's in incredible minimal rust condition. That was the number one thing that people have commented about. And here as well. Looks like maybe a repair or weld was done. So anyways, well, there we are. We're at 16 minutes. So I don't want to run any longer. This thing's awesome. Really look forward to finding her a new home. And I know whoever is shopping for a Land Rover, this is one to put in your garage. So give us a call. Our number's at peachtreeclassiccars.com. We look forward to hearing from you.